This is how it is when you're independent.
It's akin to like building like a mega structure. Like first you start digging this hole. Some people might mistake you for digging a grave.
So you gotta really get out here and talk your
Those are facts.
so you can be heard and let people know, nah, I did that first.
Being independent is hard, but it's worth it simply because of the freedom. That's what we're working so hard for.
DIY.
DIYers, let me know if you feel the same way. Do you feel like most people in your life just don't understand what it means to be an independent artist? Do you feel that sometimes independent artists don't know what it means to be an independent
Somebody's gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
We're living in a time where anybody can have a platform, anybody can have a voice, and that comes with some benefits, that comes with some unfortunate misinformation. But I think that the people who are really out here putting in the work, the independent artists that are really putting in the work, they know how unsexy this shit is to most people. How many independent artists in here right now have friends that are trying to get you to join contest because they're like, this could be a time that you could blow up, and they just don't fucking get that you're building a business. You're not looking for somebody to come save you. Don't save them. They don't want to be saved. They don't get it. I can't tell you how many of my friends that I told, stop sending me these links. I'm not joining nobody contest. I'm a professional, first of all. I'm a grown-ass man. Get this shit out my face. If you don't get this shit out my face. Anyways, I think this is something that is super dope, man. Mach-Hommy, man. He's been really going on his press run and waving the flag of independence, and I love a lot of the things that he's saying. In this clip, he's talking to the legend Black Thought about what it really means to be independent, because I think some people think, like, even when I went direct to consumer, some people, when they saw that I made the video where I showed proof that I made $11,000 through Bandcamp and through direct to consumer selling my CDs, people were like, that's it? Nigga, that's it. That's it. And then some people were like, it's only because of YouTube, bro. As if I done got bags under my eyes from designing my own album covers, as if I'm not in here mixing and mastering these records, as if I'm not in here writing my own lyrics, doing the things that are necessary marketing-wise to make sure you guys even know I have a project, sending the emails and all these different things. But such is the life of being an independent artist, which is why I love this video so damn much. Mach-Hommy spoke truth that I feel like a lot of independent artists, when they hear this, they're gonna be like, hell yes, thank you for saying it.
It's analogy before, but it's akin to like building like a mega structure. Like first you start digging this hole, and some people might mistake you for digging a grave. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, oh, look at this silly, like, you know what I mean? What is he doing? He's an idiot. Then they start to see the trucks coming in, the cement trucks backing down the road.
Foundation.
And they pouring that concrete in, then the shit ain't funny no more. Right?
Hey, bro, he's using a great analogy right now, but this is how it is. This is how it is when you're independent, getting it out the mud. You're going to do some things along the way that's not going to look like you know what you're doing, and sometimes you're not going to know what you're doing because you just your first time doing it. But it's not going to look like something. People see you performing at these shows in front of 4 people. People come out to support you, and it's like, damn, there really ain't no motion for you. And then before they know it, you're doing a venue just a little bit smaller. Before you know it, you have a drop-off. Then you have another show that's a little bit, and meanwhile on the behind the scenes, you're registering your music behind the scenes, you're getting all these different streams of revenue, you're figuring out how to get your merch up, you're figuring out all these ways that you could be generating income and be a legitimate business as an artist. But yet and still, until you do the millions, they don't really seem to give a damn sometimes, right? But what he's saying is such a great analogy is that when you're looking at a building being built in your area, it doesn't look impressive when it's nothing but dirt. Matter of fact, I got one by my house. I was complaining. When the fuck they gonna put something on this dirt? When you gonna put something on this dirt? Folks out there sweating, trying to lay the foundation. Here I am doing the same thing they do with independent artist careers, but he's not lying. Then you start seeing them trucks come in, and it's like, how they afford them trucks? Where you get that money from? That's how independence is. The wins are not always loud, but damn it, when you do, nobody can take them away from you. Let me let him get that back one more time.
Like, you know what I mean? What is he doing? He's an idiot. Then they start to see the trucks coming in, the cement trucks backing down the road.
Foundation.
And they pouring that concrete in, then the shit ain't funny no more.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause then now the rebar start coming in. Then we start doing that. Then we get the steel beams, and it's no longer a joke, right? At this point right now, we've gotten to the point to where we got the structure up, the electricians just left. Now it's like we open for, we accepting lease applications type. Cause like we open for business. So I understand how it looks. you know, from the outside looking in, but that's the price you pay for excellence, yo. Like you know what I mean? You have to be in the dark, you know what I mean? As an observer, as a consumer, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Coca-Cola gonna give you the secret ingredient because you like it so much, or are you gonna have to wait for the thing to get bottled and then you get that? And that's your experience. You know, my experience is making it. You know, you don't get to make it.
That's cool, motherfucking bars, nigga. You know nothing about that.
I love that analogy so much. Oh, I love it. Tony AFX says, being indie is hard, but it's worth it to keep it 100%. I just made a similar tweet here on Twitter where I said, yes, being independent is hard, but it's worth it simply because of the freedom. That's what we're working so hard for. We're working so hard so that we don't have somebody who can tell us when we can release our music, who we can do our music with, how we can do our music, how often we can do our music. We do this because we believe that we have ideas that can compete, ideas that can live on their own without the support of major label support. We believe that we can leverage social media. We believe that we can use all these tools to really make something happen that can not only affect our own livelihoods, but the livelihood of our families, or our families that we're going to have eventually one day. We truly believe in this like any other business. I think a lot of people don't understand the mental stress it is to be an independent artist. My first show of all time, ladies and gentlemen, was at the Key Club in 2006. I sold 100-something tickets with my guy John. Shout out my guy John. Just saw him recently. I started Curtis King with him. We sold 100 tickets for the opportunity to be in front of A&Rs that were going to sign us. 100 tickets for $20 each. Do the math, because I'm not. It's a lot of damn money. Gave it to these folks who had this show, this showcase, where it's 40-something artists. Yeah, you know them shows. 40-something artists. We finally get on stage, and the person that brought the most people were after us. And as we got to the song that was the lowest, they started booing me. Oh, yeah, they get them off the stage. Put the Goonies on. I didn't even know who the Goonies were. But every time I started to rap, like, okay, this next song is called Put the Goonies on. Put the fucking Goonies on. Look at this Curtis King guy. What's his name? Got 2 S's. But yet and still, I got booed off that stage. I felt it for about 24 hours. And that's how I know I really wanted to do this as an independent artist. I said, you know what? I think I really want to do this. Because I can go through that shit and say, all right, you punch this side of my face. What about this one? I still got something left. You knock this eye out. I can fight your ass with one eye. That's what I felt like. Let's move on. Man, first and foremost, rest in peace to my guy, BeatKing. I didn't know this brother personally, but I did have an opportunity to chop it up with him a few times online. I don't even know how he found my Instagram, right? But he found my Instagram, he followed me, and he was showing love to the content that I do, but also he was showing love in my live streams where he'd jump in there and he'd just be kicking it with us, and I'm like, dog, you're BeatKing. And for those of you that don't know, BeatKing is an independent legend in Houston. And who better to hear it from than himself, rest in peace, in this interview that he had with Beehive TV. Check out what he talks about, because I love this message in terms of what it means to be independent and how we need to be talking. He will be in the chat. Courtney just said it. He will be in the chat. That being said, this message here is really strong. Listen to what he said here.
Because if you don't give yourself your flowers,
Come on.
people won't give them to you. What I realized being in the game so long is that sometimes lame get in positions.
Yeah.
And because they weren't a fan of you personally,
Come on.
they'll try to rewrite history without you in it.
Come on.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Because lame niggas get in position, they will do their best to rewrite history and leave you out of it. I still, to this day, get my no's, get a lot of no's for folks to be on my platform. I've learned from Don Miguel Ruiz, the 4 agreements. Take nothing personally. I take none of it personal. But I do remember, got to keep a good memory of what's going on. I see people who, when I first started on this streaming journey as an independent artist and I first got on YouTube, they looked at me insane. They said, what are you doing? You're going to kill your music career. I said, I think there's an opportunity to help people, and that makes me feel just as fulfilled as this music. And so I did it. Not only did it extend my career, but it actually gave me an opportunity to really work on my craft and not have the stress of where am I going to get my money from next. This gave me the opportunity, YouTube, being able to create products and things that I was able to sell gave me the opportunity to finally run a business and learn what it meant to run a business. And so with all that knowledge that I accumulated in 9 years, here I am now at 39, getting ready to be 40 in 2025. The reason I got so much energy, the reason why I can still be a student at this stage is because I had 9 years to literally do what I want. I didn't go through the label situations and get my energy and my soul drained in the process. I was able to hold on to my soul, hold on to who I am. So now when you see all this youthful exuberance, it's because independence kept me young. It worked my ass. It worked me like crazy, but it kept me young. I'm going to let my guy BeatKing in this because he starts to really tell you about what his legacy still is and was when he was here.
Man, they're trying to act like you didn't even exist because they weren't personally a fan. So you got to really get out here and talk your
Those are facts.
so you can be heard and let people know, nah, I did that first.
Exactly.
BeatKing, I changed the sound of Houston, Texas.
Come on.
It was car culture before me.
Man.
It was coming down, swinging, coming down, gripping grain, you know what I'm saying? Piece and chain swing, dang-a-lang. It was like that. When I came out with club music, nobody else had energy in the city. I changed the whole, now everybody has club energy. Club music in Houston, I brought that.
Oh man, rest in peace to my God BeatKing.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Rest in peace, bro. Rest in peace. It pains me to see it, and you know, I think that he is getting his roses right now, and I love to see it. I saw Joe Budden talking about it. I saw many other folks who were moved by not just his music, but him as a human being. I wonder how he would feel about that. You know, matter of fact, I think he even had a tweet where, and Joe Budden talks about this on his podcast, where he said, if I were to ever pass away, mind you, this is years ago, before he passed away, he said, just play my music.
Beige rage, a condition that's slightly embarrassing. I heard it affects 1 in 3 light-skinned Americans. It comes from having a deficiency of melanin. The side effects is people assuming that you not with the shits. Now I got nothing to prove and I'm not innocent. I'm still a man of my house and I get ignorant. And I don't see that as a bar of my intelligence. I see it as a warning if you get me out my element. I woke up early, meditated, drink a cup of tea, and listen closely to the words God instructed me. I think you miserable people cherish my company. The flies love the light, but I don't want you sitting under me. See, that's the reason why you gotta let your soul glow. The same reason I don't go to local shows solo. I heard a picture might be worth 1,000 words, and that's why people value me less with every photo. That's why you always see me working in my dojo. These cats love yapping online just for the promo. Shit getting dark, man, I'm trying to hit the ISO. Beige rage coming, but I'm trying to break the cycle.
All of this aggression way out. All of your projections way out.
I'm with that.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
So we're going to continue to wave this independent flag. I'm going to continue to make content. Yeah, it don't get all the views, and that's fine, but we're going to continue to wave this independent flag. Your boy Curtis King has been doing the media runs as of late, and I've been talking a lot of this independent stuff myself, and I want to share some of this with you. Shout out to my guy, CM McDuff, an NPR podcast. He had me on there, and in this particular section, we were talking about how so many of us as independent artists, and some of you may not even get this, some of us physically know that we're independent artists. We see it because we're having to do everything. The bags under our eye, we know we're doing everything. But mentally, we're still signed. Check this video out and you let me know if you understand where I'm coming from. At heart, but there's a part of me that I know I'm independent. I know that at heart, but there's a part of me that still was in this structure in my brain that was established by somebody else's model. Whether it was the industry model, whether it was my model when I was with Black Cloud, whatever model it was, I was still like, no, I can't do this because I gotta wait for this. I gotta wait for this. I gotta wait for this. But ironically, it was when I saw Joe Budden say something about Reason when he left TDE. He was like, all right, nigga, you got off the contract. He said, but don't do what these other niggas do. They get off the label and they put a shit ton of music out and then they just stop. Because they finally got what they wanted, was the freedom. And I was like, oh shit. I had the freedom and I wasn't even using it the way I could have been using it. Don't believe me, I was taking advantage of it, but it was like I was still operating like I was in a box.
Like you're because you had this way that certain
content out a
things
certain, it's got to look a certain way. I got to make sure that my numbers are, and it's like, wait a minute, who programmed me like that?
to think. And Curtis, let me tell you something, my nigga. Last year, I dropped. Just because of that, I got tired of people. Oh no, you have to do it like this, and everyone's telling me I have to do things a certain way. I'm like, who the fuck told you that? And who the fuck says so? So I dropped.
You can't talk like that because you shake the matrix up.
That's what we're talking about. We're shaking the matrix up. We're doing things that before even independent artists wouldn't think were possible with the things we have access to. For those that don't know, well, at the recording of this, I have a project dropping at midnight tonight. Or I guess it wouldn't be tonight. Midnight, August 23rd. This video will be out next week, but August 23rd is an EP that I did with my guy Amon Omari called the Beige EP. It's a project that me and him worked so hard. He did a lot more work than I did because he produced it, he mixed it, he mastered it, he sang on it. But it's a project in which I went through a lot of transformations to really, really become less Curtis King and more Dewan. That's my government name, DWAN. In the process, we were discussing how we wanted to roll this album out independently. And he, shout out to Iman, he was like, man, fuck all that, bro. We ain't got to do none of this streaming shit. But as I'm starting to approach my 1-year commitment to take my music off of streaming, which I said in my videos, if you go check it out, I said I'm going to do 1 year and see what that's looking like direct to consumer. As I approach it, I think I'm about to break that right now with this project with Iman. It's a catch though. You know your man's Curtis got to be petty spaghetti. You know, if you feel me, I got to be petty spaghetti. What do you mean, Curtis? How could you possibly be petty with the release of an album? Well, here's one way. This EP, which is called Beige, this is the one that you pay for, okay? The one that you pay for got a chain on the image. That shit in 4K, it ain't really in 4K, but that shit look crispy, right? The arm look normal. For those of you on streaming, those of you trying to get a Temu version of Curtis King's album independently, you know I'm out here working. Don't worry about it. I'll give you access, but you get this shit right here. Damn.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell
This nigga ain't got no chain. This nigga got his elbow looking awkward. I'm talking about him like it ain't me. You feel me? Like it's not as, you know what I'm saying? Like the contrast ain't as contrasty. If you go get this Temu version of my project, you deserve this cover. But if you go support it at curtisking.com, get the little chain. That mean that you VIP. My boy. And this is the kind of creativity that we must do as independent artists. You hear me? But if you go get my music like I'm a Temu, if you go get the Temu version of Beige, you deserve this handsome Squidworth elbow that I got over here. All right? So, some of you may have questions about, Curtis, why are you breaking your commitment to be off streaming? Like, what's going on? I came to a conclusion specifically about Spotify because I've been going hard in the paint. I'm starting to look at Spotify and all these platforms as just another social media. What do I mean, independent artists, DIYers? Check this out.
I'm like, okay, they won't even give a free. So my thing is this. They're posing as music stores, but in all actuality, Spotify, Apple Music are social media websites.
And yes, that's crazy.
But look at how much content we give. How much content do you give Instagram and don't get paid for it? Like,
I hate to give myself a bomb, but
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
you're telling the truth there, Curtis. I like that shit. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Bonuses aside, how much do we give TikTok? How much are we giving to YouTube right now? And we don't but it's not about that. It's about, let me leverage the reach that I can get on this platform.
Yeah.
Okay, well then that to me is con. That's why I started doing what I call strip-its. I was like, you gonna pay me a fraction of a penny? Why don't I give you a fraction of a song and then tag that shit up and advertise on my shit?
And run this 10 seconds up a million times.
You running Coca-Cola ads on my shit. Why can't I run curtisking.com on mine?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I share this because I don't think there's any secrets in this. I share this now because I realize that the more of us that do it, then it's a movement. It can't be just one person. It's got to be more. It's got to be so many. We baby's kids. We don't die. We multiply.
You did it wrong, Curtis.
We baby's kids. We die. We don't. We multiply.
I love that line because it applies to this shit. Is that if it's enough of us out here, if it's a few people acting up, they know how to get rid of you. They know how to make shit difficult for you.
You said they're going to be on my head. I don't give a Curtis King. I'm the king of Rancho Chucamungos.
Yeah, I'm the king around here.
You're damn about that. We doing the work we supposed to be doing. We doing the work we supposed to be doing. You hear me? If there was an ounce of fear in my heart about what would happen to my platform, I wouldn't have made 1711 videos talking about Spotify because they for sure could have hit, one of these pieces of content off with strikes or whatever. But to me, that would only make them look more guilty. There's some times that I've been misinformed through this streamless journey. There's been times that I've been very informed. There's been times that I've been crucified by people that I thought would understand it, like my fellow artists who were like, stop doing this, Curtis. You're gonna make us work. Okay. Peers that I thought were peers, it exposed a lot to me, exposed a lot of people to me who I figured out don't get it. They don't get the art. They don't get the artists. They've never made art. That's why they're disconnected. That's why them and I will never see eye to eye when it comes to the way that this art should be sold, the way this art is valued. It's never going to make any sense. It's never going to make any sense. And that's okay. We can agree to disagree. But after being on the receiving end of all of that vitriol, still happening to this day, I can tell you this, man, I'm supremely grateful to be in a position to still build upon this concrete, to still build upon this foundation. I am grateful to still be here for another project. I know when I started this year and I said to myself, I'm going to put out as many quality projects as I possibly can without a number on it. I was nervous for myself. I was like, Curtis, don't kill yourself of exhaustion. Please don't do that. Please go take care of yourself. And in the process, I learned so much more about myself through being creative, through forcing myself to dig deeper through stories, to forcing myself to be more creative, to forcing myself to stop just being a talking head in this space and actually a practitioner, a doer. That's why it hit so hard when I saw that BeatKing had passed away, because that was a practitioner, that was a doer, that was somebody who explained his process, showed his process, let people share in it, and then also knew that people should have been giving them more props than they were, right? That's why he said, you gotta talk your shit. You gotta be loud about your accomplishments. And it's not for outer validation, it's to make sure that you are giving yourself that respect. And once you give yourself that respect, other people will know how to treat you because you've shown them how to treat you. So, independent artists, those of you that are discouraged by the lack of viewerships, don't worry about that. Truth of the matter is this. A year ago, this YouTube channel was teetering the fence between 30 and 40 people that were in the streams. It still is some amazing people that were there. I built with those people for hours and hours. A lot of them are my moderators now. Amazing, beautiful human beings. A year later, the low end of this stream is now 400 people, 474 people. Shout out to that one time, huh? That is the product of working. The product of not being too prideful to show up even when the numbers don't line up with what you think your value is. Showing up even when it feels like it's not really gaining any traction. Showing up knowing that one day it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And now I'm watching things turn the corner. You're talking about a person that just came off of conversations with a Lupe Fiasco. I know that you guys aren't the biggest fan, but it's still a big deal to me. Stormed a barge after probably one of the biggest 2 years of her life thus far. We're having these casual conversations that you guys are really enjoying. I'm talking to, all of these legends, and they're going to continue. I got Young MC coming here in September in person, Bust a Move in person, to talk about this independent shit. And you get to see somebody like myself who's not only talking about it, I'm really doing this independent shit. Because I got the scars to show it. I got the ugly faces to show it. I got the errors to show it. I got the videos to show it. I couldn't come here and look y'all in the face and talk about this independent shit unless I did it, and I'm doing it. And I'm doing it well. So I would love to have your support on this Beige album, this Beige EP, that I keep saying that is on curtisking.com, curtisking.bandcamp.com. As a matter of fact, for those of you that hang out for this stream right now, I'm going to play you the entire thing. It's only 15 minutes. So yeah, let's check it out. Those are my thoughts though, DIYers. You let me know what you think. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Don't be greedy. Peace.